Okay. 1, 2, 3,
go.
Everything given by God to you, man, is so beautiful. Marriage is not exceptional. It's a gift to mankind. We are to welcome to figure in marriage. We are one.
Hello, wonderful viewers. You are welcome back to our channel. My name is Seyi.
My name is Funmi.
And together we are called SeyiFunmi.
Welcome back to weekly episodes of
Marriageisbeautiful
with SeyiFunmi.
Alright.
Yeah, it's nice to be back.
It's nice
right?
to be back. It's quite some time.
Yeah, it's quite some time.
It's really nice to be back.
And it's good to feel refreshed, right?
Yeah.
So we're back, and today we will be discussing what we call red flags in marriage. Like, you know, there are some red flags you need to look out for. Like, you have to be careful with them in marriage. And today we'll start with that episode. I know that we won't be able to finish it today, but at least we'll be able to talk about one or two things. Right, so let's jump right into today's episode.
I say jump into the marriage. Alright, let's
jump right into today's business.
These red flags that we're talking about, they are like little foxes that spoil the vineyard. There are things you need to look out for. If you're not careful with them, they might not really be tangible in your own view. But if you're not careful with them, they can affect the marriage and ultimately leads to the end of the marriage. So when those flags are popping up, we call them red flag. Incidentally, we're wearing red today.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, fine.
So we call them the red flags. There are things you should watch out for.
That's crazy.
And today we'll be looking into two of them. Okay, the first one, that we'll look into is being too independent. Being too independent. Marriage is all about inconveniencing one another. If you still want to carry the independency you enjoy before marriage into marriage, there will be issue. So please be very careful when you see the red flag of independency popping up in marriage. For an example, independency starts with when any of the spouse decide to make a decision and go with that decision irrespective of what the other person is feeling. You might decide, this is what I want to do. And the husband or the wife might be saying, Oni, can we have a little look at it? And you say, no, that's what I feel like I want to do. See, when you tend to make decision and stick by it all by yourself. Okay,
without the
consent of your spouse.
Whereas you guys are supposed to be one, right?
Yes.
If I'm right.
So that red flag of independency, be very careful. It kills marriage. It can lead to the end of the marriage. So look at it in this way. Before you make that decision, consider your spouse. Am I really doing this in good knowledge of my spouse, or I'm taking the decision all alone by myself? One of our popular saying in Marriage is Beautiful is, you don't make a unilateral decision on a situation that concerns two persons. The marriage involves two of you. So you don't just make a unilateral decision. This is what I want to do, and that's what you are going to do. When you start doing that, you are ultimately looking towards killing that marriage. So
because I want to drop this because a question just dropped into my mind, like, well, you know, there are some cases that it's just personal. Maybe personal to me. You know, there are some cases that are personal. Maybe you're talking about making decision maybe in your office or concerning something that is maybe personal with a friend or so, that has nothing to do with the marriage. I think that's what I'm saying now. So is this still important? Like, is this still all that like you need to involve your spouse? Because I don't know, such question can slip up out of anybody's mind. Right. Okay.
But in that case, look at it this way. The Bible was talking about the apostle at a point that they are together, they do everything together in oneness in the book of Acts. It's not that they don't have a personal decision. Every one of them still go back to their house and they still manage their family. But one thing joins them together. That is when they have something, they sell it together, they put the money at the feet of the apostle, and they go ahead and divide equally. So when you get to that area that joins you together, for an example, the decision I will make in my office, I may not need to consult you. But even when I get home, I still talk about some of those decisions. And you still advise me that, okay, but why don't you think you should do it this way? So when we talk about independence, for an example, you have money as an husband. You don't just go about spending it.
Sure.
Just because it is yours. You go about spending it without considering
your spouse.
Your wife. You want to do something for your family. You still talk together about it.
Unless it's private.
But when you decide to, okay, when you even when it is private, a good husband and wife should still talk about it. Yeah, it might be your money, you might want to do it. There are times you do something on the spur of the moment, and
what I mean is like you maybe a surprise or something.
Okay,
private, like
you can do for one another some surprises, and so all right. The issue remains this: there is nothing to be called independency in marriage. You have to depend on one another. If you can do it all alone by yourself, there is no point in two of you coming together.
I want to add this.
Okay.
You know, let's take for example in the world we live in today, where so many like, oh, do I need to tell him to do what I want to do with my money? And talking about money, that's the least of it. But you know, so many things, decisions. Do I need to tell him to take a decision? No, because people think like ladies nowadays, that way feel like, you know, I can rule the world without my husband.
You are tending towards feminism then.
Really?
Yeah, yes. That's
what is in the world.
That's what is in the world, and you know you can discuss that enough because it's almost killing marriages.
Yeah, that's the red flag.
The independency. Most of it, if you look at it this way, that okay, people are talking about being independent, and the women are talking about feminism. Feminism is another form of independence, especially on the side of the women. Now, what we need to look into is if you can do it all alone, make decision independently. You don't need somebody by your side. Then there is no point for marriage. Please watch out for that
red flag.
Red flag of independency. And the next thing we want to look at is the quality of time you spend together. When you start spending less quality time, we're not talking about spending time now.
Yeah, like you're not enjoying each other's company. Not really. What I pick from there is not really because you are not together in your home. You're together in the same house, but like you're not enjoying. We might be talking together and we're not enjoying each other's company.
Yes.
We might not really be together.
Yes.
You know, at heart.
Yeah.
So,
we might not be as acro.
Yeah, we might not be on the same
our
page.
hearts might not be beating together the way it's
So spending quality time at the same time has to do with being on the same
on the same pedestal.
Exactly, like we have to
on the same page.
We're on the same page.
We do things together. You know, even spending quality times together involve you being on the same page. And sometimes when you are on the same page, some people even look at it as it's not really required. Why do you need to do that? There are some set of people, for an example, that love doing things together. I have seen couples which we still practice, but I don't want to put it on our own. I've seen couples that 20 years of marriage, they still eat together.
Sure, of course.
Yeah, not every time, but they still eat together. There are situations when one will say, okay, I remember recently I went out and it was a bit late. And I came back and I said, have you eaten? They said, no, you are upstairs waiting for me. I said, wow, my wife is still waiting for me. Sometimes you will need to eat. You go ahead and eat. But you still find time to spend quality time together. Still, see,
those are the little time, eating together, bathing together, sitting down to discussing, have a walk together. Those are the time you can really say, okay, these days you can't be in the office and be having time together. You can't be in your business, you can't be reading and be having time together, So
all those times that you can be together. So if you are not spending quality time together, it's a red flag you must
serious one.
Watch out for. It kills marriage. It's not about spending time. You can be hours together. Like you said, they are together, but they are not really together. We call it familiar strangers. Some people's home has turned to two strangers living together. You need to really be one as a trouble. You need to spend quality time together. You can spend an hour together and it will be far better than you staying at home together all day long without you being on the same page. Find a time when you find out that we are no longer spending quality time together. The red flag is there.
It's pumping.
Telling you that something is going wrong somewhere.
Coming up.
So,
and I want to say this, like talking about spending time, quality time together now. Sometimes you might not be together, but don't forget to put a call across. That's another thing. Like if you're going to spend hours, or maybe you traveled, around, like you should still try. Okay, what of the people that are not staying together? That's another thing. Like you marry, but you're not together on the same, maybe in the same country or the same town.
And in that case, they will have to call a lot. They will have to shout a lot. They will have to.
You still have to keep those times together. Like you still have to talk. You have to chat.
You have to find time to be together, and don't hide behind the facade of "I am too busy." Especially for those abroad wife or husband, those whose wife or husband is abroad.
Actually, sometimes you are busy, but you just have to find that time.
See, being busy, I'll round up with this. Being busy does not prevent you from finding time together.
Exactly.
I've said this thing once. No matter, for example, no matter where you put smoking areas on site, even when you put smoking, it's not allowed. Then when we do that on site, we put smoking area far away from workplace. So you need to walk 2-3 minutes to be able to get there. Do you realize that people will still find time to walk to that place?
Exactly, and do the needful.
Each time we go to the mall, you don't smoke in the mall.
Of course,
you have smoking area right outside. People with the urge for cigarette will leave what they are doing,
shopping.
Go out, take the stick. So whatever you love so much, whatsoever you cherish, thank you.
You must find time.
You must find time for it. So when you find out that we are no longer spending quality time together, it's a red flag indicating that something, somewhere, somehow is wrong with our marriage.
Well, that's a great one.
I think
It'll be short and
today we've looked into 2 of those red flags that you have to watch out for in marriage. Wait till next episode when we'll be looking at the other red flags that you have to watch out for in marriage. Until that time, when we come across your way with the weekly episode, which will be in series, by the way, until we come with the next series of the red flag in marriage, SeyiFunmi saying, thank you. We love you. Bye.